Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse's villain revealed. While the Marvel Cinematic Universe is currently in its multiverse era, Spider-Man was there long before No Way Home's events took place.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
In the loosely paraphrased words of Uncle Ben, Peter, with great power comes a great responsibility to tell as many multiverse stories as humanly possible, except one where I'm alive. I must die, Peter. I was born to die. Anyway, the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse's sequel takes us even deeper into its wild web of multiversal mayhem in June 2023. And now we have a much better idea of who Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, and company will be going up against thanks to news coming out of the Annecy Animation Festival. While we won't be spoiling any major details about the movie, if you prefer to go into this film knowing nothing at all, now's your chance to leave.
Get out of here, kid.
Okay, let's get into it, shall we? After the first film gave us the likes of Kingpin, Prowler, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Scorpion, and Tombstone, fans have been champing at the bit for clues about which member of Spider-Man's prodigious rogues gallery could be the big bad of this movie. Well, folks, wonder no more. Because during a panel at the Annecy Animation Festival, Across the Spider-Verse directors Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson revealed that they are going deep into Spider-Man lore for the villain in this movie with The Spot. As reported by Variety, Kemp Powers told the assembled crowd, for those who are not hardcore canon nerds, the Spot is one of the deepest cuts in Spider-Man's rogues gallery. But he has a superpower that really excited our entire team. His entire body is covered in little interdimensional portals that can send him anywhere he wants to go. In the movie, Jason Schwartzman will portray the Spot as this multiverse-hopping madman who goes up against Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. Our heroes will be joined by Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man 2099, who we saw teased in a post-credit scene in the first movie, and Issa Rae as Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman. Now, presumably there will be other Spider-themed characters as well, but no word yet on whether there's more Peter Porker in our future.
Do animals talk in this dimension? Because I don't want to freak them out.
Powers also added, we thought it would be really cool if the portals felt like living ink that had spilled or splattered on the comic artist's drawing. His very simple power provided endless exciting challenges and permutations for our team. But who is the Spot, you might be wondering? Created by Al Milgrom and Herb Trimpe, the Spot first appeared in 1985's Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man number 98. Before he was a walking homage to the Acme brand of portable holes from Looney Tunes, he was Dr. Jonathan Owen, a scientist working for Kingpin. Owen was studying ways to recreate the powers of the superhero Cloak, who traverses a pocket dimension known as the Dark Force dimension, not to be confused with the Dark Dimension.
What is happening?
When he finally succeeded in recreating one of these portals, Owen stepped through and promptly became Dr. Oh my God, what have I done? Not only was it not the Dark Force dimension he had accessed, but it left him with quite the skin condition, interdimensional portals covering his body like multiversal freckles. Naturally, he did what any one of us would do. He gave himself a lame nickname and started a life of crime. I mean, why not? Taken at face value, the character is admittedly pretty laughable. He was even once a member of the Spider-Man Revenge Squad, a group of Z-list Spidey villains better known as the Legion of Losers. But with that said, he has a power set that makes a lot of sense for Across the Spider-Verse. This guy is covered in portals to different universes. It works phenomenally well to propel the plot forward. Plus, as established in Amazing Spider-Man 589, he cannot be detected by Spidey sense because his attacks technically start in a different dimension. In addition to the Spot, the directors confirmed that another familiar Spider-Man villain will appear in Across the Spider-Verse, the Vulture.
What's up, Doc?
In footage shown at the Annecy Film Festival, Gwen Stacy goes up against a reimagined version of the Vulture in her home universe of Earth-65, which is inspired by watercolor paintings. According to Variety, this Vulture, voiced by the Lonely Island's Jorma Taccone, is given a thick Italian accent and a Renaissance-era design, seemingly pulled from Leonardo da Vinci's workbooks. Although it'll be cool to see the Voltruvian man, it sounds more like he's a cameo at the beginning to set the stakes for Gwen, rather than this big threat throughout the movie. If nothing else, this opens the doors for even more preposterous Spider-Man villains like, say, the Hypno Hustler, the leader of a band that used mind-controlling instruments to make audiences hand over their wallets. Or perhaps Typeface, a sign maker who superglued a bunch of letters to his face and tried to murder his boss. That's pretty cool, right? Huh? Anyway, according to the directors, the film will travel to at least 6 different universes, each with their own unique visual style. Of course, the character I'm most excited to see is Takuya Yamashiro, aka Japanese Spider-Man. The character starred in a Japanese Spider-Man TV show from 1978 to 1979, and even had his own 200-foot-tall, 25,000-ton mech named Leopardon. You know, like Spider-Man has. Anyway, considering we're heading into the multiverse, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for my all-time favorite Miles Morales multiverse moment, which happened in Secret Wars. Miles had a hamburger in his pocket that was there for several weeks on end that wound up becoming a major plot point. I know. Anyway, Across the Spider-Verse is the first of 2 sequels to Into the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse hits theaters on June 2nd, 2023, and the recently renamed Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse arrives on March 29th, 2024. This is all to say it's very early on in the process, relatively speaking, and now we are doomed to feverishly refresh the Sony Pictures Animation page for even more scraps of info between now and then. Anyway, folks, with that said, we'll keep you up to date on all things Spider-Verse over on Nerdist.com. In the meantime, though, tell us, what do you think of this news? What other Spider-Man villain do you want to see in this movie?
Even though this guy is trouble, I'm gonna have a hard time taking him seriously.
Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.